Stefanie Biesheuvel has been researching her family history for several years. So when the Dutch National Archive put a list of names of potential collaborators during the Second World War online, she immediately had a look. Unsurprisingly, she found names of her ancestors. She already knew that several of her great-uncles had been guards at concentration camps.
I can't click through. I only see the names. My ancestors are in the archive, but I cannot access it on the website.
Like Stefanie, more than 1.3 million people have accessed this list since it went online at the start of January. But those who want more than just a name must travel to the National Archive in The Hague. Stefanie has managed to access a stack of files detailing her family's history. The first surprise, a Nazi passport belonging to one of her ancestors.
In every generation of my family, there's a woman whose middle name is Josefina, and I'm the only one from my generation. So it's very bizarre to see that this woman was also called Josefina, but her name is in a Nazi passport.
This painful confrontation with the past is possible because after 75 years, the files are no longer classified.
I find it important to talk about it, that my children know. Because you don't have to be ashamed of what your ancestors did, whether that was during the Second World War or another time. You are not your ancestors. I think that it's good as a society to speak about what happened there.
But the decision to put more than 400,000 names online has caused a stir in the Netherlands. The National Archive has a waiting list of more than 2 months to consult files.
It's all new information for me. I was like, okay. So, because my family members had always said, he was not like an SS officer or something. He was not in the SS like that. He's not as bad as that. But again, the stories were mixed. And I'm like, no, he was with the SS.
I had expected to find something terrible about my grandfather. With everything that I had heard, I thought, gosh, we will find out now. And we looked through all the files and learned that he was a member of the National Socialist movement.
Decades later, personal stories, big and small, come to light. Not everyone has the courage to face this past on their own.
This file that I'm reading now is a big file. It's a heavy case. The family in question asked me to go ahead as a sort of scout to have a look at the file, because on the basis of what we know, it's quite intense.
Originally, all 30 million scanned documents were going to be posted online, but the Dutch Data Protection Authority opposed this unfettered access.
The big problem with that archive, according to privacy laws, is that if people are still alive who are mentioned in these files, then they are entitled to protection. The archive is so large and the files contain so many names and other personal details of people that we cannot determine if they are still alive. That's the big problem.
In the end, the archive decided to publish only a list of names. That's a dangerous solution, says this researcher, who warns this system implicates people who are potentially innocent.
Only a small portion of the files really went before a judge. After the liberation, with all these arrests and files, hundreds of thousands of people being arrested, it wasn't possible to bring everyone to trial. More than 200,000 files were completely dismissed.
But descendants of the victims of the Holocaust are relieved. This information is finally becoming available. Miel Andriessen regularly tells the story of his family to younger generations.
I was lucky, but more than 6 million others weren't.
His parents were both killed in Auschwitz in 1944. The fact that Miel had the chance to become a grandfather is thanks to a Dutch family who hid him until the end of the war. He welcomes the decision to open the archive, but wishes it could have been done sooner and that the online files would be complete.
The fact that descendants of victims don't have access to these files is very sad, especially because they had hoped for many years to be able to find out before they die. And I think that the people who collaborated during the war are being protected.
In the archives, he discovered the identity of the people who betrayed his parents. The two men were held here, at the former concentration camp of Vught, at the end of the war, the very same place where Miel's parents were taken before being sent to Auschwitz. Knowing who was responsible has brought this survivor some peace of mind. He has no desire to take it further.
Now I have the names, and this has given me closure. I am happy that I know, but I will do nothing with this information. Both these people are dead, and I don't want to mess up families and confront them with this history. Maybe their children or grandchildren don't even know, and I don't want to confront them with this.
By opening the archives, historians hope to raise awareness of the many faces of collaboration in Dutch society. The Netherlands is the country in Western Europe where the Jewish community was most affected. Only 27% survived.